Hi friends, thanks for stopping by the channel MedusaGnostics. So today what I want to talk about is my experiences working with the Watcher Kokabiel or Kokabiel. So for some background into this, recently I conducted a channeled ritual that basically what it does, it invokes 9 of the Watchers or the Watcher Generals. And what it does is it infuses their energies with your energy to empower you and to, I want to say, bring you into their awareness. So, when you do a ritual such as this, you might find that you feel empowered and you start to receive gnosis from the individual watchers themselves that you basically invoked. And that is exactly what happened. So when I was conducting the ritual, so basically what you do is you're using channeled sigils of Shemyaza and 8 of his generals. And when I was conducting the ritual, when I was performing the ritual, I started to notice that certain sigils would, I want to say, they were basically glowing without me even opening them. And one of those sigils was the sigil of Kokabiel. And as we all know, Kokabiel is the watcher who brought the celestial knowledge to mankind. And boy, did he. So in my experiences with him, with Kokabiel, years ago, I've always been interested in astrology and astronomy, studying the stars, the planets, how space works, physics, all that stuff. I've always been geared more towards that than anything else. And but here recently, through my interactions with Kokabiel, I found myself being led down this rabbit hole, getting into things such as the lunar mansions and how constellations and fixed stars might have an impact on you astrologically speaking, and more recently, it dawned on me that through the sort of decoding of your natal chart and using the methods of traditional astrology. So traditional astrology is basically the astrology that was put in place from the time of the ancients to the medieval Renaissance times. So the types of astrology that people like John Dee would learn in the universities. And so when we look at traditional astrology, we're actually looking at different correspondences, different ways in which the ancients devised that the different stars and constellations, planets, elements, everything interacted with each other and was impacted individuals and really also, current, events of the time. So I almost said current events. I didn't really mean current events, but events that would have been current at the time, however, not necessarily current, And so when we think of traditional astrology and magic, what are we thinking about? We're thinking about creating talismans to, I don't know, a talisman for protection, or a talisman to bring back something that was stolen from you, or bring back something that was yours, or an astrology, an astrological talisman for to bring about abundance and abundance and protection. Using one of the faces of the moon. So when we look at Agrippa's book on occult knowledge, I want to say the third book and the fourth book, it really gets into the faces of Aries, the three faces of Aries, which is what the three decans of Aries. So we all know that when, if say you're born into the sign of Aries, depending on what time of the month your or that time period your birthday falls within, that will let you know what decan is influencing you the most. And depending on the decan on which your birthday may, or a date that will be governed by that particular sign falls, that will determine which face of Aries you use to basically bring about certain characteristics. Like if you want Mars in its fullest, you might want to focus on the face of Aries in the first face of Aries, So what I'm finding is there is a lot to unpack when you get into traditional astrology and the studying of the stars. And when you look at how the stars can not only impact you, but how you can use your own magical power to develop a ritual which will help you to facilitate, circumstances that may go in your favor. If you're going to be traveling and you want to ensure that your travels will be protected, you can perform create a talisman which will cover that based on maybe a lunar mansion, or one of the fixed stars, or one of the constellations. And also, when we're working our personal magic, and if we want to look at where the stars were aligned when we were born, then this will be a great eye-opener, because it will highlight to you what areas of your magical life are more in alignment with you versus others that aren't. And so what do I mean by this? So basically, any angel, any demon, any deity, they all have correspondences. So they all have planets that they're in alignment with. They all have preferred plants and crystals and incenses and colors, right? And if you were to do the work and go and create, decode what was what was going on when you were born, then you'll be able to create a list of your own correspondences. So things that you are in alignment with, as well as things and characteristics, deities, angels, demons, whatever, that you aren't in alignment with, and if you take a review of your magical history and you look at the, deities and demons or angels that weren't necessarily receptive to you, but were more hostile to you, then this might be a way for you to decode why that happened to you, why that was the case. And sometimes it might just be that really that demon or that energy doesn't like you, because for whatever reason. We all have our reasons. I might not like you because you looked at me funny, or you don't listen to the same music I like to listen to, or you like ugly colors, like, I don't know, chartreuse or something, salmon or something. So, I mean, there can be a million reasons why one of your rituals didn't work. However, if you know what your personal magic is, what is in alignment with you personally, and what isn't, then you put the resources in your own hand to amplify your magic, to amplify, what it is that you want to bring into your life, and how you want to get rid of some things that may no longer be serving you, and if it wasn't for that ritual I performed and Kokabiel presenting himself to me and basically leading me down this rabbit hole, I never would have been able to accomplish some of the things I've accomplished. Some of my own personal talismans that I've created based on what was in alignment when I was actually born is amazing, because things that you may have gravitated towards, but you don't necessarily know why you're gravitating towards it. You just know that it's just something you like, you know. Sometimes it's not necessarily that you just a coincidence. Sometimes it's that you're just geared more towards that particular thing than you are towards something else. Like, I like mermaids more than I might like, I don't know, knights in shining armor, you know? So, so this is just something that I'm currently experiencing with Kokabiel, and I am eternally grateful for the guidance and the teachings that he has been providing me. And, if you've done anything related to the Watchers, I'd love to hear about your experiences, or, what do you think about traditional astrology and how it impacts our lives today? Let alone, thousands of years ago, but today, what do you think about this? Do you think that, if you implement some of these talismans, or just explore what was in alignment when you were born, how do you think your mindset might change? How do you think that might help you to grow a little bit more magically and even personally? I'd love to know in the comments. So again, thank you for listening to me ramble on about traditional astrology and my experiences with Kokabiel, and dark blessings.